2 100 milligrams spironolactone pills every day for the past 3 years has the same choking effect from day one. The round pill with sharp edges goes down my throat slowly, even with a gallon of water. Physically choking is the worst thing I can think of. Choking figuratively like I did at that frat party back in February of 2017 has the same paralyzing effect that I dread so much. My senior year of high school seemed perfect. I started hormone replacement therapy during the summer right before it, and I was thrilled to start portraying myself authentically. I was only a few months into my transition at the time, and my emotions and self-esteem were still intact. I was part of the homecoming court, I was head cheerleader, I had good grades, and I was being accepted to schools all over the nation. I seemed to have everything I wanted, yet it wasn't enough, and I wanted something else. I wanted to leave San Diego and try a new environment where I could start anew in a city that didn't know of my past. And in the snap of a finger, I found myself migrating 2 hours north to my new home for the year to come. I moved into my dorm hall on an extremely hot and dry weather day of September. The dormitory hall was, at a first glance, what I expected college to be. Everyone seemed to be doing their own thing, yet everyone was enthusiastically social. My hall, which was unisex, was very diverse and liberal. I befriended a Chinese exchange student, soccer players on scholarships from Germany and Brazil, people from all over California, and even a student from Georgia who gave his life away in student loans just to come to California to get the West Coast experience. My roommate Stephanie, who was Korean American, became my best friend at the time. We had similar interests and similar family situations, so we clicked instantly and did everything together. The first day settled in, we were invited to a frat party that was happening a couple of miles away from campus. I did not know what to expect at this party and whether or not it would be like we've all seen in the movies. I did not have a doubt about being clocked, or what the streets would say, to catch on and realize one's transness. And so I went to that kickback, fearless and as social as I desired to be. No one knows me here, I thought. This is my chance to make a whole new me. After getting a couple of frat brothers' numbers for the parties to come, I had to carry my puking homemate into the Uber back to our dorms. And this night basically set the mood for the rest of my freshman year. I continued to go out more and more with different people to do different drugs to different frats. I fell into the mindset of not giving a single damn and doing whatever I wanted. The worst thing that came out of this erratic behavior was casual hookups with guys that did not know of my gender status. I was at a point that no one ever clocked me, so I was confident enough to flirt back with guys and taking it up further than just that. Logan, a fraternity brother I met at his party, seemed to have enjoyed my presence or company enough for him to text me on the regular. After 2 parties and casual texting, he invited me to a concert where his friend was opening for. Hey, I have an extra ticket for the Made in Tokyo concert. Wanna come with? Too soon, I thought. I really was not expecting invitations to drive an hour to and back, sitting in a car where he'll be staring into my face. Long enough for him to clock me apart from the average perfect sorority girls he is used to messing around with. My squarish chin, big nose, and muscular body was not like those small, perfect faces and petite bodies. What was this all about? Maybe he already knew and just didn't need to address it. Maybe he's clueless. Part of me didn't care, but part of me was also scared. Mostly because you never know how violently someone might react to the fact. But I did though. Good thing for me, the venue was dark and I was not clocked that night. At least that's what I thought. Time passed and we fell off not so long after the concert. It happened to be February of 2017 and I was a wreck. I fell into smoking weed every single day, which ultimately caused laziness and a low 3-point average. My hormones shifted in my body and my emotions and feelings were all over the place. I was not in the right state of mind and I could not get out of it. I stopped going out and all I did was stay in my dorm, block the bottom part of the door with a towel and smoke joint on joint on joint, out the window with my roommate, gaining weight from all of the meal plan dollars we had. I had no motivation to go out or get ready. I was feeling every single emotion in the book. Callie, one of the girls that I had painted in those crazy frat parties, had the most yearning desire to go to this one party that happened to be at Logan's frat house. Theme of the party? call it booty. She apparently had no one else to go with, so decided to hit me up with an invitation. I obviously was in my head and in my feelings, but something told me to go out and socialize. My roommate was back home in LA, and I didn't like being alone for long, so I decided to accept her invitation. She came over to my dorm, and we tried fitting the party game. We wore camouflage colors, combat boots, and used eyeliner under our eyes to resemble war paint. How are we getting there, I asked. Is Chad picking us up? Chad is actually already there, she responded. I'll just dive there, girl. I won't go for a reasonable amount of drinks. I freeze, thinking in my head how bad of an idea this was. I was used to making bad choices though, so my dumbass gave in. We arrived to the party where frat brothers took turns outside the property to keep other guys who are not affiliated out of the party. All girls get in with no problem. We walked up some muddy wooden stairs to the front door where more frat brothers chill with half-naked girls. We walk into the musty room that reeked of frat brother sweat and jungle juice. Decorations are very underwhelming. Empty Amsterdam bottles of different colors and flavors are lined up in an organized manner at every turn of the house. Who knew so much alcohol consumed over the years was such an interesting home decor? I was hoping with all of my heart I would not bump into Logan. I was not in the state of mind as I was before, so any little movement that I did around him could block me. The universe and the stars were probably not aligned with my favor that night because we made the most awkward eye contact ever. I was making my way to the backyard when, surely enough, I see Logan's silhouette. About 6'4" in height and a muscular build, I was hoping his war-ready body was not coming after me. I see his head sticking out from a bunch of average-sized heights. We make eye to eye. He looks next to me and has a blank stare. I probably half scared nervous for an over-friendly face. He looked in my eyes, looked next to me again, and then proceeded to turn the cheek, making his way to the front door. That definitely took me by surprise, and so my mood the whole night was ruined. I literally did try to ignore it because Callie seemed to be having the time of her life, and I did not want to be the one to ruin it. I kept drinking. Drink the pain away, I thought. At some point in the night, I was buzzing. We danced in the circle like they tend to happen at the dance floor, and the circle kept getting smaller. It was Callie and me along with 2 other guys. It just happens that one of them is on me and the other one is on Callie. The guy I was dancing with finally asks for my name. Hey, what's your name? He screams in my ear. Violet, what's yours? I shout back. Violet? Yeah, why? I respond. Then he drops it. Yo, have you heard of that one tranny that's been trying to get into our parties? His name is Violet too. My heart dropped to my stomach, my heart started sweating, my thoughts ran faster than the speed of light, and I was suddenly sober. I was in a complete state of shock. I choked, I completely choked. I did not know what words came out of my mouth or what were they gonna come out of my mouth, but it went something like this. No, I haven't. I somehow kept dancing to simulate the fact that I was internally crying. Did Logan send him to ask me, what are the chances of having 2 Violets in one room? Is that guy just totally drunk and clueless? Or is he letting me know that he knows? Or that the whole frat house knows? I am baffled. I am extremely baffled. At some point, I pulled Callie outside of that musty living room dance floor and told her about what had happened. She genuinely seemed to care and asked if I wanted to leave. She was having a great time and didn't look functional enough to drive. So I hesitantly said, no, it's okay, girl. Let's just stay for a little longer. I'll drink it away. But I couldn't. I was too shook to feel any kind of buzz. I get to my very slightly dimmed room, and it is empty and quiet. My roommate is not there, and the hall is dark and dead as well. I look for someone to talk to, maybe even the hall leader resident that I don't like very much. I start feeling extremely lonely and overwhelmed with what just happened. And then I lose it. I breathe in and out at an alarming speed, and tears rush out of my eyes. I am looking for something and grab whatever I see that my hands can touch. I grabbed the throw pillow that my mom gifted me and pressed it against my face to silence my loud crying. I somehow make it on my bed, which is as high as my ribcage, and I sit there with my purple fleece throw blanket. It is still hard to breathe, and I am scared. The loud crying won't stop, and I need somebody to be there with me, even in spirit. So I call my brother Eduardo, and he answers. Hello? I can't even utter a word out, and I just cry and cry hysterically into the phone when I hear his voice. It sounds like a piece of poem. I keep breathing heavy, and he just sits there for a couple of seconds to reassure. What's wrong? Calm down. Breathe. Do you want me to come get you? He says. No, it's okay. I finally managed to stop flipping out. I was not going to make him drive up 2 hours north just to give me company. When my irregular breathing stops, I tell him very vaguely about what happened, not spilling much of the story. He gives me the rundown on how boys are and how rude people can be. People don't know how derogatory the T word is, he says. People are just uneducated and close-minded. Remember to fuck what people say. Don't let these fools and that word get to you, he reminded me. Breathe it out and have a good week. I'll go get you next weekend, okay? I thank him for dealing with my 4 a.m. phone call and I hang up. I feel a lot better, but not completely healed. All that crying made me the hungriest and sleepiest I've ever been. All I remember after that call was eating 2 days worth of calories in one sitting and watching my favorite movie to help. Time went by and I just was not the same. I did not go out much, both to class and to parties. If I was hungry, I did not go to the dining hall and I just ate whatever ramen noodles I had and jumped in my room. That or I would just remain hungry. I started coming back home to San Diego every single weekend. I missed my family and my friends and how welcoming they were of me every time I came back. It's like they're proud of me and really excited to see the person that I became for the time that I was gone. I wish I could have succeeded their expectations. Instead, I came back hurt, confused, and depressed. College was the birthplace of my insecurities. Staying here and taking baby steps allowed me to find myself and be myself. Being away from that school, I realized a lot of the things that happened in my first year. Logan found out about my transness and told his fraternity brothers. I should have never hid the fact that I was trans, and I should have never messed around with guys that didn't know. I got too comfortable with my transition and was trying so hard to not be recognized as a trans girl. I should have never fell into those drugs that altered with my brain more than what it was already altered with. I should have never accepted Logan's invitation to that concert, and I should have never let him drive. I should have not let Callie drive to that party, and I should have gone back to her. Or Logan. Or anyone I caused commotion with.